Scott Thompson, Scott Shots Photography, out here on a fire road up above State Line, north shore of Lake Tahoe, kind of up above Kings Beach. Sunset forecast is calling for a good one. I don't know how that's turning out on video, but it's looking like it actually might be. So fingers crossed. I got a little bit more of a walk up the road here, and I'll be setting up and got the tripod, doing some long exposures hopefully, if all works out. Ooh, I'm excited. Looks like it's gonna be a good one. I'm now at one of the overlook spots, and it's looking pretty. I gotta find a better location to shoot. Maybe I'll shoot from here, we'll see. This bench over there, there was a couple people sitting at it though, so I didn't want to use that, but that's where I was planning on going. Not bad though. We're already starting to get a little bit of color to the sky, so I better hurry up. Camera is now set up. I've got the tripod fully extended, including the neck of the tripod. I don't usually like doing that, but I got to get up a little bit higher than these bushes, so it can make the camera a little bit unstable and kind of susceptible to camera shake. So I'm definitely using the shutter release cable, not even using the 2-second timer with pressing the button, because it can still be shaking a little bit for quite some time. So to be absolutely certain that I'm as stable as possible and get as sharp a photo as possible, I'm using the shutter release cable. And what are we at? That exposure there is about, excuse me, ISO 100, aperture of f/22, nice and small because, ooh, I wanted to try to get this sunburst. Is it gonna happen now that the sun's popping up or below the clouds? Let's see. We are getting a little bit of sunburst, cool. And it's a 1/6 of a second long, mirror lockup. I'm gonna quit chatting because right now is looking good, so back to work. All right, I put the 16 to 35 millimeter lens on, the wide angle. I did have the 24 to 105, but I decided I wanted to try to get got Kings Beach right there. I wanted to try to get that in the frame, and it is now, along with a little bit of a sunburst. It's looking cool out here at Lake Tahoe. If all goes as planned, all those clouds are gonna fire off with color, and I'll probably do a little bit of a stitched panoramic from there all the way over to there and try to get a nice wide angle with some of these clouds firing off. Fingers crossed, because, you know, it's looking a little bit thick, but that could also mean that it'll end up being incredible. All these things are a bit of a gamble. You just gotta, you know, one of my favorite photography sayings is F8 and be there. F8 refers to just kind of a basic setting, kind of middle of the road aperture, nothing too special, but the be there, that's the important part. If you want to get good photos, you got to get out and be there. I made the drive from my pad maybe about a half hour out here, and then like a 20-minute walk up the steep road, and I am here. This is glorious. Back to work. Right, we were getting a little bit of an exposure problem, which is normal for this time of day, where the sky was really bright and the foreground down here was really dark. So what I put on there is a graduated neutral density filter. This is a Lee 1.2 stop, and I don't know if you can see, kind of hard to see, but the top half is dark, the bottom half is clear. The top half is kind of like sunglasses, darkens that sky and allows for a more balanced exposure between the sky and the foreground. Check that out. See how it's looking much better than how it was looking a couple frames ago. See how much darker that foreground is compared to the sky? Then I put the filter on, and bam, looks a lot better. I love those filters. They're very important. Ooh, that sun is just about to go below the horizon. I better shut up and keep working here. Okay, I've moved on to bigger and better things. I'm doing a stitched panorama shot now, and this probably won't be my keeper, but I'm kind of dialing it in and making sure I've got everything right. I realized that my tripod head was kind of backwards. The bubble level was on the other side, which isn't a big deal. I mean, you know, I usually use my eyes to make sure the image is straight, but for a stitched panorama, it becomes a little bit more important, where I really like that bubble to be nice and center, because then when I do my panning, there's not a lot of, well, like crookedness to the shot, and it all lines up better when you go to stitch it together. Just one of those little things that I feel a bubble level is important on a tripod. Not all of them come with them. Cheaper ones anyways, but yeah, it definitely helps when doing stitched panoramics, and I have a feeling this is going to be a really nice stitched panoramic once it's all together here. And again, we're getting a little bit of warmth to that sky. I'm fingers crossed it's going to just keep on getting warmer and warmer and more explosive. One thing that I haven't mentioned is that I do shoot in RAW format, and that's going to capture more dynamic range, more information in the file. And so I absolutely work on my photos in Photoshop is what I use, the RAW converter. And I'm able to bring up my shadow detail more and tune down my highlights and kind of balance everything out. Oh, there's somebody going by. Hello. And Merry Christmas. All right. Getting a Christmas sunset here. But yeah, it allows me to work on the photos more when I shoot in RAW, and it gets less damage to the file, less digital noise, and I'm able to really... There's somebody else. How's it going? Not a bad spot for a photo. But yeah, it really helps me get a much better shot when I shoot in RAW. Don't want to. I never shoot in JPEG, to be honest. All right, this is exciting. It's really starting to fire off. Kind of amazing how quick sometimes sunset peaks with color. That was a fast one. There was a lot of pink to the sky, a lot of orange, but man, I don't even know if I got through the full panoramic. I think so. And there's still getting some color to it, but that was a quick little explosion, actually big explosion. And there's still some color going on for sure. It's gonna make a great shot, great panoramic once I stitch everything together. Although, I shouldn't say that. Don't count your, what is it? Don't count your eggs until they're all in the basket, something like that. I don't know. But I sure am enjoying myself right now. This is fun. And I ended up moving down to ISO 150 rather. What am I at? An aperture of 16, about 10-second long shots. Each exposure is 10 seconds as I pan a little bit, about 5 degrees on the head there. And then I'll use a program called PT GUI to stitch my panoramics. I don't usually use Photoshop. Sometimes I do, but PT GUI, in my opinion, does a better job of actually stitching the panoramics together and making everything line up a little bit better. Takes a little bit longer, costs a little bit more money, you know, as opposed to just using Photoshop. And I do go a little bit further than I need to when I shoot panoramics. So I'm shooting way to the left of where I need to, and I'll end up cropping that off. But it helps create, sometimes when you shoot a panoramic, you almost get like a slight football look to the kind of oblong look to the image. And so if you compose it so you can crop off those edges, it makes it get a little bit better for yeah, doing a panoramic where you can cut that image off. Okay, I'm gonna go because I want to recompose now that all the fire in the sky died out already, but there's still quite a bit of fire there. I might put on the other lens actually. All right. Yeah, that's nice. Move locations a little bit because that dead tree was centered up right where the color is, so I wanted to get over a little bit and zoom in. I've got the 24 to 105 back on there. I'm not sure what am I at about. Oh, I don't know, around 90 millimeters on there. So I can zoom in on just that part. I'm gonna mess with my exposure a little bit because Most of the color in the sky is already gone. That was so dang fast. Impressively fast. But yeah, it was fun. And I'm sure I got a keeper or two. But, you know, while I'm here, may as well change up my composition, move real quick, and try to come away with another keeper. And again, I'm at ISO 50, lens aperture of f/16, and about a 6 seconds long exposure with that graduated neutral density filter still on the lens. I just changed up the lens though. All right, well that was fun. I'm still gonna get a few more photos here, but that color is pretty much fizzling out. Trying to get some exposures with the streaking car lights there of Kings Beach up above here at Lake Tahoe. Any keeper photos I got will eventually be on my website, available as large fine art prints, prints on metal, prints on acrylic, canvas, all the, you know, the usuals, the fun stuff. But yeah, these, especially that stitched panoramic, you should be able to be printed up huge. This is a 50.6 megapixel camera, and when you stitch that together, it becomes an absolutely huge file, very sharp. I'm using L series glass, so yeah, it'll print up. How'd that look? Ooh, that looks pretty good. All right, here. Try to show you that real quick. See the streaking, excuse me, selfie stick getting in the way of the tripod. Streaking lights of the cars there looking pretty dang sweet. So that exposure I'm digging. Let's do a few more. All right, thanks for watching. You guys have a good one.